Find it on ProView Networks.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Networks Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us at chasingtheflames.com or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Tournament and the Final Four. Now it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
The waiting game continued, not just for the return of Jeff Symbieta, but eligibility questions with the college football regular season bearing down on us. We have games on Saturday, 0 week, and for Lobo football, they hope sooner rather than later they'll get an answer on an outstanding pass rusher if he will be eligible. What it do, and welcome in to the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback, Ned James, this morning. Got Bob holding it down behind the glass, Adrian producing on ProView Networks. Good Thursday morning to everyone. And it is game week for some teams and turning their attention to their week one opponent, wrapping up camp-style practices, going to install game plans and look at specifics with opponents. But yet there are still schools waiting on eligibility questions. Yesterday, Brett Carr, who had his hearing, trying to get his injunction, his stay, whatever the legal word is needed to be eligible to play this next season, as we have discussed throughout the week, with the 5-for-5 being implemented in the summer. We knew the lawsuits were coming, and the NCAA is, I think, fine at this point in time, just kind of fighting the specific lawsuits across the board. Everyone is trying to find their favorable judge in the right place to get them eligible this season. And Brett Carr, who isn't one of the high-profile guys that was an NFL camper over the summer. He's not one of these pro guys coming back to college. He's a legit guy that played 4 years and 4 years, but with the 5-for-5 trying to get that extra year.
Yeah.
And yesterday, the judge said, I'm going to think about it. Brett Carr, who was joined by his head coach, Jason Eck, and other coaches that were testifying on his behalf of why he should be eligible to play next season. And part of his counsel was saying that if he misses out on the year, then he is going to suffer. It would affect his ability to play at the next level. They also argued that they have met the standard for a restraining order by establishing that, yes, he would suffer irreparable harm without it, noting that Carhu and Eck stating that his chance of playing in the NFL would be diminished by not playing the fifth year of football. and just arguing that it was poorly designed, hard and fast rule with arbitrary expectation. And this is kind of par for the courses with what we've seen of how these guys are arguing for their 5th year when the NCAA has tried to come in and say, hey, this is a rule that's started now going forward, but UNM stepping up, a lot of representation for Brett Carhu. And when you look at how some of the other judges have ruled across the board, because this is state by state right now, this is not a blanket one where one judge says everyone can play or everyone can't play. I think Brett Carhu has a fine case, just given what we've seen, but who knows?
Yeah. And when it comes to the courts, you have to remember that the Supreme Court is the ultimate screw up in all of this, because they screwed it up by, when they made this NIL rule, they made it through the states, not a federal law. And so every state individually gets to make their case about NIL, and they're just kind of morphing all the NIL stuff into this new stuff with the 5-for-5 rulings, just to throw these courts off, and the law hasn't caught up to a lot of this stuff, and so that's why these rules and these laws are conflicting, and so that's what's happening now with Carhu, who I think is probably worthy of deserving, because he only played like, I think maybe 10 snaps or something like that in that 1 year that he had his 4 years, but it's something that I think the judge will have to kind of take a hard, fast look at with the rule. But at the same time, it's morphing into all these other things. The LSU thing, it's coming back. Like, I get that the SEC and the ACC and all these guys are making these rules and these punishments for teams if they do take these guys off the NFL rosters. Well, guess what? The Pac-12 and the Mountain West hasn't. So if you're a responsible GM at a Pac-12 school, or hint, University of New Mexico, why aren't you calling that tight end from the Cleveland Browns that LSU can no longer have because of the SEC rule? It's the law has not caught up to it yet. Why not? And
speaking of eligibility issues that we've discussed this week, you mentioned the SEC and Big Ten, when they get moving, things change. And they quickly at least try to enforce conference rules. The Big Ten specifically focused on NFL players initially. The SEC dropped one that talked about NFL, NBA, WNBA. They hit North American Pro Leagues hard, that we don't want anyone coming back. And that's the process after this. Mm-hmm. Is if the 5-for-5 goes through, then the next question is, what does eligibility look like if you leave after 3 years? If you leave after 4 years? Mm-hmm. And then can you come back? So these are the steps in the process of trying to iron it out. And you're right on that. When it's state by state, it's going to be messy. It's going to be like this. And then it's the argument that, are these conferences then defying court order? And so now that's coming down. Yeah. So as you talk about, Daquan Wright, he's just kind of the poster child, because we saw him. Right. We've seen video of him in Browns camp. We've seen him dressed for a preseason game. Yeah. And then he's the one, he's like, you know what, actually, can you cut me because I want to go back to college? And so he's the easy reference point, but there could be also a violation of court orders, which Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports was reporting that there are lawyers saying that they could request a contempt ruling against the NCAA for going against court orders. So this is swirling, but you know what? The NCAA is fine with this. I think this is they wanted this chaos. They wanted people to be pushed to the edge so they can at least try to start moving forward with implementing some rules on the system when it comes to 5-for-5, when it comes to what pro leagues you can play for. Because as we've discussed throughout the week, looking at these individual rulings, the cases are a little bit different, like Brett Carhu versus Daquan Wright versus other players. But what was very noticeable in the SEC, that they are kind of picking and choosing what pro leagues they think are better than the others. Because you did not hear in that release when they said NBA, G League, other pro leagues in America, other professional leagues, NFL, and then you assume it's CFL,
WNBA.
WNBA. But they didn't touch on any overseas players.
No international.
And that is a huge piece of college basketball.
Yes, it is. And that's where these lawyers are going to nitpick with this NCAA ruling. And as far as these rules go with these different conferences who are trying to play the holier than thou, taking the moral high ground as far as, hey, we're trying to ensure that these kids matriculate through the universities and graduate. Baloney. It's about the finances. And so I really, am taken aback by the fact that, these Big 12 came out with their ruling yesterday as well. I haven't seen anything from the Mountain West or the Pac-12. Hey, start your engines, guys. Let's start getting some of these NFL guys, and let's compete with the guys who've been cheating all along. The SEC now, all of a sudden, the SEC is the moral,
moral compass for college football.
For college football. I mean, give me a break. What are they going to do? I mean, and when the NIL stuff went to the states, I knew right away when it went to the states, it was going to be chaos, and that's why the NCAA cannot reel this in, because when you have different laws in different states. There's always going to be that challenge, and that's why Louisiana. I mean, they thought they had it easy, and the SEC thought, "Hey, we're going to come in and tax Louisiana with this ruling." But like you said, the law has not caught up to it yet. Congress is just neutered, so they're not going to do anything, and so we're left with chaos right now. And then we're going to see, if once the season kicks off, this is a great time of year for college football starting this weekend, but at the same time. The courts have taken over the landscape of college football for now.
We've been joking, but it's entirely possible that you could see a guy play a half of football, and then they get news at halftime, and they're like, oh, this dude can't come back on the football field. I'm sorry, you just got to make sure you hide his helmet so he doesn't get back out there. But that's going to be the first couple weeks of college football season. Basketball still has a little bit more time until the start of the season in the beginning of November when we see regular season basketball games for the first time. But I know people are interested, especially in Brett Carhu and his eligibility case. And the Lobos defense is good. And they can just be that much better with Brett Carhu out there rushing the passer.
Absolutely. Had a great year last year, I thought. I thought he and Newby, Keyshawn James Newby, really were phenomenal.
Hey, if he doesn't make the Eagles.
Yeah, he doesn't make the Eagles.
How much does he have any eligibility left?
That San Diego State game was great last season. I think the fans, the expectations for this team, are really resting on that. And we've got some, NFL roster guys that are on our team here at UNM right now, and I haven't heard anything. So there's crickets from that standpoint. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have a tight end from LSU or the Cleveland Browns on our roster, and in the near future. But we'll see. You have to wait and see. I mean, they're in the business. I mean, people keep forgetting that these college football coaches are not hired to ensure that young men graduate from the university. They ensure that they stay eligible and they win football games. There is a distinct difference between the two. So people have to remember that, Lane Kiffin, what he's doing is exactly what they're paying him that $12 million a year for. People are kind of thrown aback, but these are academic institutions. These are institutions of higher learning. And there's this sort of oxymoron when it comes to athletics. Things just don't go together, and so we're finding out now if that's going to really work in this new landscape of NIL and in transfer portal and eligibility. So
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline. It's also the Meineke on San Pedro text line for you to join us this morning. Exciting show on deck. We'll talk with Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com. He joins us at 8:30. We'll pick his brain about his initial thoughts of who he likes for some of the CFP spots early in the season, the group of 6 representative in all that, and the 0-week games on deck. Got Bill Belichick, North Carolina, playing TCU in Ireland, and then nightcap, which I think could be the best game of the day. Now, there's some questions around Memphis, okay, but Memphis, UNLV, 2 teams that feel like they could be conference champs, trying to put that extra mark on their resume in that battle for a G6 representative. And good stuff coming up this Saturday. He's the quarterback, Ned James. The JJ Buck with you, and it is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Networks Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us at chasingtheflames.com or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire. We've been
families got per diem.
That was amazing to me.
And now the Pro Bowl no longer exists. It went from a football game to a flag football game to Pro Bowl games to gone. And you know what? Godspeed. It was fun while it lasted, but this makes a lot of sense. You can honor players as Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
You voted in. It's just like all conference recognition. You don't have to play a game when you're in all conference honors. You just get honored as an all conference player. And now the NFL is going to honor players as Pro Bowlers, but not have anything to put on TV.
I know, and that's just a shame. You know, I was in the golden era of the Pro Bowl when they actually hit each other and guys went to the ground. And, you know, guys didn't play hard the first half, but the second half, when they realized the disparity in pay, even millionaires would say, hey, you know, shoot, $40,000 is $40,000. I'm going to play a little bit harder that second half. And so it was fun that way. The players kind of ran it, and it was, you know, just a neat experience. And I thought, you know, it just takes away the whole all-star concept of football, which I miss. And, you know, it gives them recognition, but I guess not having a game, it leaves a bitter taste in some ways.
It just became something that the players were less and less interested in. And I can see why. You know, at some point in time, end of the season, you don't want to go out there and then put yourself in a bad situation. You don't want to go out there and play a game and have, you know, Sean Taylor blowing you up in the Pro Bowl because he cares. And you're like, hey, man, I'm just here to coast. And what are we doing here?
That was like the year or two after my year there. So, yeah. I mean, if you're a punter, hey, that's why punters and kickers, you know, just slide or, you know, go out of bounds. But you're going to try to play football, Pat McAfee. This is what you get. Even though you wear a tank top on TV, Pat McAfee rubs me the wrong way. Macho punter.
He's taking over the world.
Yes.
But you'll have the memories of the Pro Bowl, but it is no longer there. It went from a football game to a flag football game to Pro Bowl games, and now just an honor that the NFL will hand out. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback, Ned James. Bob holding it down behind the glass, taking your calls, 505-246-0610. Adrian producing on ProView Networks this morning. And as we were talking about eligibility in that first segment, this story popped up. I saw it earlier in the week, but it fit into everything that we're discussing. And LSU, they got the trifecta right. They got Lane Kiffin, Will Wade, and Kim Mulkey. And my goodness, have fun being an AD with those three as the main head coaches on the campus.
Women's basketball player in New Mexico they got too.
Yeah. Well, they had for a second. Bella Hines transferred.
That's
yeah. She pieced out.
Yeah.
But you know, the headlines at LSU. So last year, Lane Kiffin brought up timing issues, and it's not always just players in the port. It was coaches leaving. Mm-hmm. And so Lane Kiffin takes the LSU job as Ole Miss is trying to advance in the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. And this is sport/fandom to the max in paranoia. And so following Lane Kiffin's departure to LSU, Ole Miss went to extreme length to ensure that there was no tampering or espionage involved in the departure, because there was a lot going on. Lane Kiffin leaves. You know, you have a chunk of assistants that are going to follow him, but then you still had Ole Miss going, we're trying to play football and focus on advancing in the CFP and which coaches are in which meetings. Who can you trust? Is the recruitment off the roster going? Yeah, it was awful timing for Lane Kiffin to do that to Ole Miss to go to LSU. But Ole Miss was not messing around. So this story came out because Walker Jones, he's the executive director of the Grove Collective, so he's one of the money guys. And the money guys know. Yeah. The money guys know everything. Okay. So he was on a podcast, and they were talking about what it was like. And it's just, with everything that's gone on this week and how really, you know, Lane Kiffin and LSU has been at the forefront of so many storylines. I laughed at this, but I could understand why Ole Miss would do this. So get this. Walker Jones was describing what it was like at Ole Miss after Lane Kiffin left. He said, quote, We actually had the FBI come through the building and look for bugs and everything. We kind of knew what was in Baton Rouge, and we knew how they operated. I remember getting on my knees and looking underneath desks and seeing if there was some sort of bug involved. Somebody was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Trust me, you don't know this guy," referring to Kiffin, like I do.
Yeah. And a lot of it is about the guy. It's not necessarily just the timing and all that sort of stuff. It's really, the reputation precedes itself with Lane Kiffin. And he people know that around the league. He was with the Raiders. I'm not going to say anything with Al Davis, but always it was that spying thing with him before, Bill Belichick and the New England Cheaters. He kind of, they said Al Davis was kind of the master of it. So it's one of those things where, I think Lane fit in right with the Raiders. And I think, guys understood, and he probably had done it, and to some degree at other places. And so, I'm sure they understood that, and they were real well prepared for it when he departed to make sure and ensure that they would be safe in their, quest to kind of go back and repeat as the champion in the Southeast Conference. And the fact that he was in the same conference, that also, they wanted to ensure that they couldn't, have some disadvantage with him trying to recruit players off their roster. So, it's not that big of a deal. Most teams, you got to, even when you go into your locker rooms, when you're traveling, and, you want to,
looking around a little bit.
You kind of have a guy who goes and kind of tries
sure
to scope out.
Teddy bears just facing you.
Right. The equipment guys are supposed to do that when they get there early. The day before to set up the locker rooms, they're supposed to make sure that everything's in place and that head
no
coach's
webcams anywhere.
Yeah, it's it's kind of standard. Coaches can be a little paranoid at times, and so that's always kind of been a little bit of a standard for the advanced team to go and check out the spots and make sure the hotel rooms and all that stuff are up to snuff.
Opposing locker room, got to make sure, you got to walk through it. Heck, even your own facility.
Yeah.
If Lane Kiffin is involved,
that's even high school. High schools do that now. You gotta make sure
looking in the lampshades, going around, make sure people aren't standing funky. You wearing a wire?
And people I call it cheating. People call that getting the edge. It's you're supposed to have sportsmanship. You're supposed to be, but this whole winning thing with some people, they can take it to another level.
Play to win the game by any means necessary. In some cases.
Yeah.
505-246-0610, the Sports Animal Hotline at the Meineke on San Pedro text line. And as we are hyped up for football season, they're still building a basketball schedule. We got an announcement of one more game for the Lobo men, and I'm waiting. I'd love to see a non-conference schedule at some point in time for the men and women. Waiting for that drop. Hopefully the graphic is ready to go, because can't wait to see what that's going to look like. But how is Lobo men's basketball schedule shaping up? We'll hit that just with who they added and continue to look ahead to who's going to be available for Lobo football when they kick off the season September 5th, 8 p.m. Central Michigan in town out there at University Stadium. It's opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho.
We know a lot of the dates, so as you fill out your calendar, you know what you're going to be doing. You have the Lobo football schedule. It's been out. You know the kickoff times. When you need to turn on the UNF Sports Radio Network.
Yay.
It goes live at 7 o'clock Saturday, September 5th. The Robert Portnoy, Dontrell Moore kick things off from the booth, and they'll throw it down to the field. I'll be alongside the quarterback, Ned James. I'm JJ Buck, and we'll be talking Lobo football. Now, for Lobo men's basketball, you see a Mountain West schedule. You see a non-conference schedule with a ton of dates where those games are going to be. And they added one more yesterday. Mercer will come to the pit on December 15th. Now, last year they were 19-13, finished second in their conference. But again, who knows what that roster looks like with the turnover after a season. But the Lobos just looking to put the finishing touches on their non-conference schedule. I know it's been pointed out plenty of times, especially Jeff Grammer, been all over this, that probably going to see, of course, Eastern or Western as one of the remaining games in there to fill it out. But you have a non-conference schedule. You'll have a ramp-up at the pit, Utah Tech, Northern Arizona, Little Rock. And then a good stretch, a week in which you're at Santa Clara on November 14th, and you're at Wichita State on November 21st. 2 big non-conference games for your resume and just yourself early in the season. You host Mississippi Valley State 25th, big time matchup November 29th. Utah State comes to the pit to start that home and home. You get New Mexico State at the pit December 5th. Then you get St. Mary's, Mercer, all at home. That entire stretch from Mississippi Valley State to Mercer before wrapping up non-conference play. You're going out to Cali. You're playing Boise State and Oregon. It's a fine non-conference schedule with the challenges of scheduling and MTEs. I know there's been a lot of Lobo fans asking why they're not in the big MTEs, why they're not playing it. Not 100% sure. No, it's something want to talk to the coaches about, just kind of figure out, is it a financial aspect? Is it worth it? Are they not interested in this? Because I know Jeff has talked about it plenty of times, how there's been opportunities for the Lobos to be in some of these tournaments. You see, but that's changed a little bit. They're 2-game sets, and Lobos are in an MTE event. It's Boise State and Oregon State, but I think for a lot of fans, they're like, not the names we want to see.
Yeah. Well,
we wanted to do like last, like Mississippi State and Nebraska, like getting games like that.
Yeah, get them out of our region. And I understand people want us to get a little bit more national recognition when it comes to basketball, and that plays into that. And that's why we were asking, fans are probably asking, can we get some of those bigger names on the schedule, especially the older generation who have seen us play these nationally recognized teams in the past. And so, but it's a different landscape now in college basketball, and it's all about getting to the tournament and just stacking up the points the best way you can to ensure that you're at the end have a chance to get into the NCAA tournament. So I mean, a lot of this stuff plays into that. So that's why we're seeing it.
The schedule shaping up, it's solid. Like you don't want to hear it, but it's fine. Like you don't want a fine schedule. You want some wow with you. I like the fact that they started at home and home with Utah State and trying to keep that going. And Logan, the Santa Clara, Wichita State, those are solid road games. These are good opponents. But yes, you always name recognition matters. Name recognition, trickles down across whatever level of fandom you are. And it's just the understanding that as this has evolved, and it's been like this for a while in non-conference scheduling, you have to figure out how you can get the X amount of home games you need with decent opponents in some of those, like a Utah State, St. Mary's down the line, versus filling out your schedule and then the right challenges on the road. And I do like the fact that they have 2 true road games in there. I think that's something that's missing for college basketball as a whole early in the season. Is you understand that these MTE or these marquee kickoff events like Champions Classic, where they 4 teams together and they start the season, they're good made for TV events, but I think that's an area where college basketball as a whole needs to step up and have a few more true non-conference road games, because that's where the energy comes from. Yeah. It's these home fan bases, these college basketball venues that pop, and getting true road games, I think, is good for the sport. Now, if you don't have to schedule those, coaches aren't going to schedule them. I understand that, but I get it. It's football season in the NFL, college football, but don't just not try to put marquee events on just because football's on. Give me a couple. Like, test yourself. Let's go.
Nobody's watching, so that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're like, hey, everybody's concentrating on football. Let's kind of sneak this stuff in here. But yeah, for fan bases that are primarily basketball, this is something that I'm sure that they've been screaming about for years, that these teams aren't playing anybody, and that's been kind of the cry for just a long time. But at the same time, you got to understand these coaches are coaching for their jobs, and so they're going to always side on the more conservative side, because they really want an opportunity at the end to challenge it and put forth that effort to get them over the hump, to get them into the NCAA tournament. And that's what it's all about, and that's what they know the fan bases are kind of really looking for, and really can kind of set them up for generational wealth down the road if they can maybe upset or get some sort of break and win a couple games down the stretch. So I think it's all based on the coaches, and I'm all for coaches. So I'm always for the coaches having some sort of leverage, because it's just such a tough business, and coaches and families and everything have to move around a lot, and so I empathize with that since I've been there. And I think coaches really want to play the best, but at the same time they want to ensure their own security as well. So this is one of those things that they have to do.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text line. There are still some players missing, and is it contract related? How important is the top cornerback? How important could these players be to potential playoff teams, and a team that just in the Super Bowl last year? We'll hit that next opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
Or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Network's Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us at chasingtheflames.com or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with...
What is the value of a CB1, a top-flight cornerback? It's huge now. You also have to ask yourself questions. Is cornerback vital, or is it kind of like a pass rusher? Can you get by if you have good pieces in other places? Not so sure you can just get by at that position. It's the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. Got our quarterback Ned James in studio. JJ Buck, Bob holding it down behind the glass. Adrian producing it on ProView Network. There's been a couple quiet hold-in that is now loud. It's final week of the preseason. The NFL regular season is just around the corner, and we've seen some big offseason moves and deals. Especially Devon Witherspoon, this Seattle Seahawks. He just signed a deal that got him $33 million per year. An outstanding cornerback for the defending champion, Seattle Seahawks. There's two looking for a new deal, and what are they worth? And one of those players played in the Super Bowl and is one of the top corners in the game, and it's Christian Gonzalez of the New England Patriots. Now, he did return to the practice field in recent days, so that was kind of one of those. There was an injury, but he has definitely been vocal that he wants a new contract in New England, and they're in one of those positions where you still have Drake May on his rookie deal, so you got a year or two where you can hand out a couple of these extra deals, like you can bring in A.J. Brown, use some draft capital, plus pay him. I think Christian Gonzalez is in line to get a deal. Now, when Robert Kraft comes out and said, hey, we had an offer on the table, he would have been one of the highest paid players at the position, you wonder, all right, what are you asking for? Do you want that $35 million per year deal because you want to be the next one? But then this one is a little messier in Pittsburgh. Jalen Ramsey Jr., he's on the PUP list. Now, this is one that people around Pittsburgh covering it, it's an obvious holding. Now, the question becomes whether he'll take the Steelers' multi-year deal, as he's entering the final year of his rookie contract. He was a second-round pick, so he's got a $4 million deal.
It's Joey Porter.
Yes. Sorry. I was going to read a quote from Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
About Joey Porter Jr., yes. And I read Jalen Ramsey's name off the sheet. So Joey Porter Jr. is currently on the PUP list. Now, Jalen Ramsey, here we go, said, quote, we need the whole secondary out there. They've got to pay Joey Porter. That's what the players are going to say.
Yeah.
They're going to stick up for their dudes, as they should, get their money. But, these two situations, it's a little different. I think, Pittsburgh, they've been trying to lean on that defense. And it wasn't a great unit last year. So you're hoping, if TJ Watt's fully healthy, you get Joey Porter Jr. out there. The right deal for him. Can he be your lockdown cornerback? And same thing for Christian Gonzalez. He was a huge difference maker on that defense. It's timing, it's availability, but I think these are two guys that it's worth it. But are you getting the next biggest contract? Because it feels like that's kind of what these two guys are pushing for, and this is what happened. It's negotiation deals. Dudes are going to be like, oh, my hammy hurts. I'm not going to be out there practicing.
Yeah. And that's why you guys like you, JJ, you should be a GM, and you use those terms. I think it's because of your fantasy football expertise too. The timing and availability, those are great words. As far as the Christian Gonzalez, I understand, him wanting to get paid. Joey Porter, I'm not really in that camp yet. Omar's got, and I know Omar from way back, he's got a tough decision to make with that, Joey Porter and the family thing with the dad and all that stuff. But Christian Gonzalez, I really do understand, Robert Kraft, the gamesmanship with the negotiations, with coming out saying, hey, we had an offer, that sort of stuff. that, those guys, they'll always say that kind of stuff. But I do think that the Christian Gonzalez deal is important to that club because he's an important part of what they're trying to do defensively there. He'll probably play on his current contract, and they may do something as the season goes on. The Joey Porter one, it's interesting because I've kind of tried to watch him. I've seen him, the bumps and bruises with him and the availability stuff that you're talking about. And I'm not quite sure they're going to go there yet with him. So
yeah, I don't know
if thing hold in or hold out.
Maybe he's fringe top 10 guy. And if he's that and he wants a top 3 contract, I don't think he's going to get it. And I think if you're, Pittsburgh, do you commit that much to a guy that might not be a true lockdown corner? Because you look at the market right now. Devon Witherspoon, Seahawks, $33 million per year. Denzel Ward, Cleveland Browns, $31 million per deal. Trent McDuffie just got his new deal going from Kansas City to the Rams, $31 million. That's your top 3. And there's absolute deals on this list. You got Patrick Surtain, who I think's in that group.
Right.
You could put him however you want, 3, 2. He's at $24 million per year. That's just 7th rank. So it's timing of when you get your deal, what the market's going to look like. I think Christian Gonzalez easily would probably hit top 5 money.
Yeah.
Be $30 million per year corner.
Yeah. And when you're looking at it that way, like I said, the availability and like you said, the eyeball test. I mean, like I thought with Denzel Ward, I mean, I remember the first day seeing him, I called you the next day from Cleveland and said, hey man, corner is the guy, not Baker. He's the best player. But it's just one of those things where, these guys, they think they have this leverage and they're trying to use this leverage and it's just not, the money's just not going to be there. And so we're going to see, what kind of, with a new head coach, what kind of a stance Porter takes. Gonzalez has a little bit of an argument, and yet still, the owner coming out making a statement like that, sometimes those things can get a little ugly too. So we'll see.
And also expectation. You want good players on the field. I think Joey Porter Jr. is a good player, but don't think he's top 5 cornerback in the game. And that's what negotiation's all about. You can throw out your number, you and your agent, and the team comes back. And you try to find middle ground. You try to have a fair negotiation. But then it's also team expectation. I think you look at the Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, that defense, as we've discussed, kind of where they are contract-wise. He's worth it, and they have the availability right now. The Steelers are they've been stuck in purgatory for a while, just in terms of high expectations. They've been living off that defense. Well, your defense took a step back. So is it worth dropping a huge bag on Joey Porter Jr. with that unit getting old and TJ Watt not being as impactful last season, knowing this is the last year of Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, you have Mike McCarthy who comes in and you're expecting at least wild card contention. I don't know if the Steelers have the pieces to win that division if Lamar Jackson stays healthy the entire year.
Aaron Rodgers.
So that because I don't think the Steelers can win that division if Lamar Jackson
because Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Okay. So you think Baltimore is going to be?
It's going to be a battle. It's going to be close. And so that again, if you're Pittsburgh, that's I think that's the way you have to look at this. You don't want to get rid of talent, but kind of where you are as a franchise, is he a foundational piece? That's the question you kind of ask yourself right now.
To take you over the top. Yeah, sure. I mean, all those things come up in negotiations, and I'm sure his agent's using that, as far as, hey, do you want to win the conference this year or not? But it's still, it comes down to, like you said before, it's availability, and, just if you're going to be there and timing of it all. And so I don't understand how, Porter gets this done, but, you never know. Stranger things have happened in the league when it comes to contracts. And, sometimes, a new head coach, he can, maybe he thinks that it's a piece that he needs in order to be successful, and he puts the pressure on the management to get him that piece, and ownership, believes that, hey, we've got our guy as the head coach and we need to do a little bit more with what he asked for. So we'll see. Pittsburgh's a unique situation as far as how management is run through the ownership group. And that's going to be fun to see because I really like McCarthy as the head coach. And, even though he's got a geriatric quarterback, they may have a chance if they can keep him upright and he can play well this year.
They've tried to add some pieces, with getting Michael Pittman Jr. in the offseason, another veteran receiver to be your wide receiver too. Can you create explosive plays with DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers this season? I think the Steelers will be a wild card contender, be one of those teams that'll be a tough out. But when you look at what they've committed to that defense, is Joey Porter Jr. going to be a guy that you have top, at this point, probably ask for top 3 money to? That's why they get paid the money to have those negotiations. Yeah. And we just are here to talk about what it looks like and the potential ahead of the season. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text line. It's opening drive here on the Sports Animal.
The Drake Toll Show. Cowboys had the worst defense last year.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep.
Sports Animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
The questions in San Francisco, less about the owner and more about availability. 505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline, Mighty Count San Pedro text line. What it do? Good Thursday morning, everyone. JJ Buck joined by our quarterback, Ned James. Bob holding it down. Got Adrian producing on ProView Network. So, yes, Jed York has been the headline this week. Got caught doing a little of that no-no in Ohio. And who knows what that holds. And the 49ers locker room, like, yeah, we don't care about that.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah. Well, Jed York can talk with Robert Kraft, figure out how to get through that situation. But for the 49ers, the question is, are you just too old? Are you just invested in the wrong players going into the season? And you have Christian McCaffrey, who's 30 years old, phenomenal year, but over 400 touches. The tightness, was it planned? He said earlier this week, I know the absences, we had talked about it. It was going to be a ramp-up process, practice early, take some time off, then ramp up again. But we all remember what happened 2 years ago, ahead of the season, missing practices, and all of a sudden you find out has tendonitis in both his Achilles tendons, and then that year was gone. This question is there. And George Kittle, coming off a torn Achilles, has been a huge part of your scheme in that Kyle Shanahan offense. And then you have one Mike Evans, who was the big offseason signing for this team, a veteran wide receiver, 33 years old, and had a collarbone injury last year, but now it's the nagging soft tissue injuries. And the 49ers expect Mike Evans to play week one, but he's just been working on the side field, hasn't been practicing in full. And you have a team that's been kind of the poster child for injuries, but yet they won 12 games. Somehow they won a playoff game last year, but is this just too much to overcome? At what point in time is hope not a plan? Because then you have Nick Bosa, who's been an outstanding pass rusher for the 49ers. He has not practiced since August 3rd. He is coming off an ACL tear last season. And Kyle Shanahan said that Bosa's improving, should be back in practice, and they hope to have him. But hope's a tough plan for the 49ers.
Now, who's the middle linebacker that they have?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner. Now, he's the key to their defense. And so, I am JJ about offense. I think the defense is how you win it. And so him being back is key. Now, I like Nick Bosa. I've always liked Nick Bosa. A little goofy guy, but he's still, kind of an important player in the grand scheme of things. And the coach has been beat up, too. I guess he got a car accident or something.
Everyone's beat up in 49er
the owners. And so it's a lot. It's really a lot. And people a lot of times won't pay attention too much to some of the cultural stuff that happens within an organization. And, I'm more concerned, not so much as about the age of the team and the defense and guys, McCaffrey and guys like that. McCaffrey's a great player. It's more of the other stuff that comes into it. And, a lot of times that can kind of distract you, and that can cost you a couple games. And so I'm a little worried more so about that stuff than the age and some of the, little nicks and bruises that guys have coming into this thing. So I think that's going to be something to pay attention to, whether the owner gets taxed. I mean, the owners generally don't get taxed for stuff like this, with York and in the trailers, the mobile home park visit that he had. These owners, man, and these, Robert Kraft in the strip mall in Orlando, and now York going into a mobile park. You can't make this stuff up with these owners. So it'll be interesting to see how San Francisco rallies with all these incidences that are occurring around the organization, and so much as the head coach in the car accident and the owner, and I think Fred Warner is kind of the telling piece to all of this. I really think that he kind of gives that team its big lift when they face kind of this kind of adversity. So I'm watching to see what they do defensively more so than than offense and how Shanahan.
Yeah, I think offensively, you look at San Francisco in that division where the noise the Rams made in the offseason, bringing over Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett to just try to take that defense to a next level with the offense that you figure is set. Matthew Stafford coming off that MVP season, Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, you're good. Seattle, I think there's going to be a little regression, but that's still going to be a good football team. No doubt about it. And then San Francisco, to your point, well, it kind of it's marquee. I think if healthy Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan's proven he can get that team to play through injuries. And Deebo Samuel is the healthiest guy out there. They spent Deshaun Stribling was the first pick of the second round, a wide receiver they brought in. So even without Ricky Pearsall done for the season, these question marks like that. A team you look at and you go, all right, is the bottom going to fall out at some point in time? But they've managed the last few years.
But like I've said before, JJ, it all comes back to the defense. The Rams, despite having a superpower offense, they went out and got defense. The fact that Seattle won, I mean, people laugh at me when I say this. You don't need a top 10 quarterback. They don't have a top 10 quarterback last 2 years. They won the Super Bowl, and they're winning on defense. And so that's where it's going to come down to. And I think, the 49ers, Fred Warner being in the middle, and middle linebackers usually aren't that, big a deal when it comes to defenses. But in their case, I think he really kind of sets the tone for everything that they do defensively. And if they can come around defensively, I think they should be okay. But I think some of the other stuff, the outside noise with the owner and Shanahan and the car accident stuff, that stuff will come back and kind of maybe be a little bit of an issue down the stretch, but we'll have to wait and see.
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text line for you this morning. Rudy, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Rudy?
Well, a lot of things. Hoping that Judge Allison does the right thing and grants Brett his injunctive relief so he can play football. When you look at the map of this thing and some of the inane arguments that were made by the NCAA yesterday, if I was a judge, that would fall on deaf ears. I just don't get why they think that this is an arbitrary line. First, they denied Brett's waiver, which I thought he had a good argument. There's the Diego Pavia case. I mean, what does the NCAA need to get them to understand that this is not the line to draw? I don't know. Maybe a judge slapping them with an injunction here in New Mexico might help. But I think if anybody deserves a fifth year, it's Brett. And it's not even a fifth year. If you look at his career, he played really 1 year of Division I football. 10 snaps at Memphis isn't even a year. It's not even a cup of coffee. So I'm hoping the judge does the right thing. And switching gears, I don't know if you saw the paper this morning, but here's another $924 million. That's $1 billion. New Mexico paid off oil and gas. What are we doing with them? You start digging into this, there's over $57 billion that we're just on because of the permanent fund that doesn't allow it. The constitutional amendment's going to have to be passed to spend any of that money. We've been saving for a rainy day since Ned James was a little guy at UNM. and it's time to spend that money. And I don't care. There's money there for New Mexico State. There's money there for Eastern. These are public places where anybody can go to watch a game. And I don't want to wait 10 years to University Stadium to get $240 million in improvements when they got the money just sitting right there. And there's got to be an equitable way to divvy that up. And then you look at Meta having to pay, I don't know how many millions of dollars. And it's time to move this state forward in a way that I think can affect everybody. There were more people at the bobblehead than there were for Danny or Bob Davies' last game.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct.
So we've got a guy who really loves New Mexico. Are we going to keep him forever? No, but while he's here, if we could improve that stadium, if we could get all that money and just do it, boom, here we go. It's jobs for construction. It's a new stadium that people are going to be attracted to. Look at what the Ice Folks did when they redid their stadium. They lead the PCL in attendance every year. So facilities do make a difference when you have a fan-friendly facility. And if there's a fan-friendly facility better than Isotopes Park, you can walk all the way around that park Everybody's been there. It's a nice place to watch a game. It's a beautiful setting. Right across the street, we have the potential for the same thing. Just fix that thing up. It's not a dump, but it needs $200 million infusion right now, not in 10 years in drips and drabs. So that's my little hope or prayer for moving the state forward. We'll see what happens.
Got you, Rudy. Appreciate the phone call. You got it in 505-246-0610. And that's the right way to come at it. And if you're looking at funding multiple things across the state, you can do more than one thing. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But if you can get people on board realizing that entertainment aspects plus the fact that if you're going to invest in university athletics, D1 or whatever, he brought up Eastern and Western. Yeah, there should be funds available for every school in your state. It's used by everyone. It's used by students. It's used by future student athletes. It's used by fan bases. So yeah, when you have this discussion, and it happens with everything you're talking about. Why should I be interested in this? Or why should I care about that project? It doesn't directly affect me. It's a trickle-down effect.
Right.
Like, just because you don't always use something doesn't mean it can't be beneficial.
Yeah. But UNM is the front porch of this state, really, to the rest of the world and rest of the country. Now, we should probably get a little bit more at UNM than New Mexico State and Eastern New Mexico. And I know people don't like to hear that, our little brothers to the south especially. But, UNM and propping it up in this state is important. And Rudy has said that he's trying to be kind. And I think, Jeff's even kind when they talk about New Mexico State and Eastern and all those other places. But, you still have to recognize that, this is the flagship university. And you have to make it a priority. And I think at this time, with all the resources that, I'm hearing that we have, and I understand that, it takes a constitutional amendment to make it work. And you've got state legislators up there and we're paying them. So, they got to work. We need them to work a little bit harder to make some of these things happen. It's time, and, that's why we need younger people, maybe in the state legislature, that can kind of see the future and kind of plan and build for that. And a lot of times, when you have older legislators that, stay in place, they kind of don't want things to change as much. And it's really difficult for them to see change. And so I'm just hoping that, we can kind of, maybe infuse some youth into that, legislation and legislators agenda, and maybe find a younger governor or someone who can kind of really, make a change and make a pivot away from some of the things we've done in the past, and maybe enact something within the Constitution that to help push UNM forward.
We shall see, and it's about capitalizing on the moment. The moment this year for our Lobo football has them in conversations that you would not expect them to be in. Not just playing for a conference championship. Could they be a Group of 6 representative? A lot of work to do. Still some questions the Lobos themselves have to answer on the football field. But what are some of the college football people saying about who they think is going to be the Group of 6 representative? We'll talk with Jerry Palm, palmbrackets.com, coming up at 8:30 as the college football regular season kicked off on Saturday from Ireland. TCU in North Carolina. You want to talk about noise?
Sonny Dyke.
Bill Belichick in North Carolina. It's the opening drive right here on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com Click on the NFHS logo and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Networks Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us at chasingtheflames.com or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more.
We would like to thank the
Recap on
following
current
sponsors
accidents
for
on
making
Candelaria
this
Road
broadcast
is a crash
possible.
at the Summerfield Boulevard intersection with delays in all directions. There's also an
Albuquerque's
accident
leader
going west
in
on I-40
sports
just west
is
of the
Pro
United
V.
Boulevard exit. Also, that eastbound
From
traffic
pros
of Southern North and near Rio Grande Boulevard has cleared. Traffic's moving up to speed. If you see an accident, call the traffic
All your favorite action.
767-9167 and Grace DeLego from the 96th Street News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
All your favorite talk shows.
For a long time, when we talked about the HPV vaccine, we were talking about protecting girls from cervical cancer. But now there's something every parent of a boy should know as well.
Find it on
The vaccine isn't necessarily just for girls. Because a new study out of
ProView
Johns Hopkins School of Public Health found that boys and young men
ProView
who
Networks
got the
would like to thank
HPV
the following
vaccine
sponsors for
cut
making
their
this
risk of
broadcast possible.
developing
Hans
HPV
Whitler
related
Automotive,
cancers
German car
by
maintenance
about
and
half.
repair in Albuquerque, New
HPV,
Mexico.
that
Call
virus is incredibly common, nothing to be ashamed
505-294-7684
of.
or
Almost
visit
everyone who's sexually active
hanswhitlerauto.com.
will likely be exposed at
We
some
would like
point.
to thank the following
The CDC
sponsors
currently
for
recommends
making
the
this
vaccine
broadcast
for kids at ages
possible.
11 or 12, but it can be given as early as 9. And if your kid missed it, it's not too late for them to get
International
protected.
Protective
Catch-up
Services
shots
is a
are
proud
recommended
supporter of
through
ProView
age
Sports and
26.
Mexico Youth
If you have
Athletics.
questions, if you have concerns, your family
IPS
pediatrician,
provides
it's a good place to
residential
start.
and commercial
I'm
security
Dr. Sanjay
services
Gupta,
in the
helping
Albuquerque
you live a
metro
better
area.
life.
Did you know that driving
more
under
info,
the influence of
please
marijuana
call
is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law
505-897-2420
enforcement can tell
or
you're driving
visit
high,
internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I can tell you
Across the state of New Mexico,
I can tell you
different journeys will begin.
I can tell.
And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Boswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family.
Do you still need your life insurance policy? Or
We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
sell all or part of your life insurance for a lot
I'm
of
Ben
money.
Lucero,
Call
president and owner of Indigo Mortgage.
888-200-7156.
We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New
888-200-7156.
Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you.
to
Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and
My name is
out-of-state
Whitney
lenders.
Allen,
Our
and I'm a
mortgage
widow.
divisions
My husband
include
Ryan died. We
residential,
never thought
commercial,
we'd ever have to
construction,
use life insurance,
reverse
but the
mortgages, and
unexpected
VA
happened.
mortgage loans.
With Ethos,
Let
signing up
us
was
serve you
fast
with an
and
exemplary
100%
level of
online.
care.
You can get a
Indigo
quote in
Mortgage,
seconds,
because
apply
nobody
in
cares
minutes,
more
and
about
get
your mortgage
same-day
loan.
coverage. No medical exams, and you
From
can
the
get up to
Sandia
$3 million
foothills
worth of coverage.
to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way from your sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
A minute ago.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing.
Drive sober or get
Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time.
what's working to protect businesses
Into
from
nothing at all.
Windsor door sales and securities, rolling shutters, or steel mesh screens
In a
to cover
world
your
obsessed
windows and doors.
with doing
They're
more,
durable and a big obstacle
we
to
invite
bad
you
guys. Every business owner who
to
doesn't
undo.
want a break-in should have them before your event. Windsor Door has 0% financing to spread out the cost. Call 345-6604
International
or
Protective
visit
Services is a
WindsorDoorSales.com.
proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS
So we're having an argument here at the radio station. How do you say the word spelled G-Y-R-O? Some people say gyro, others say gyro. Well, no matter how you pronounce it, there's no dispute. It's good eating. National Gyro Day is September 1st. But Cello Grill has decided to celebrate it with the everyday Gyro combo. It's made with beef or lamb, parsley, chopped Shirazi, and tomatoes, served with a pepperoncini.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
Bring a friend to Cello for a
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets.
Grab your sweet deal from Cello Grill.
Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-0610.
OD in the AM. Excited for 0 week. North Carolina TCU gets things going. And then week 1 officially kicks off on Thursday, September 3rd. And then that big Saturday slate, which includes the Lobos home opener against Central Michigan. It's the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. Got our quarterback, Ned James, JJ Buck with you this morning. And I don't know if the RV can turn into the magic school bus and he's going to be able to get to Dublin, Ireland, but you know he's going to be locked in. PalmBrackets.com is where you need to go as college football season is upon us, and it is our friend Jerry Palm joining us on The Sports Animal. Jerry, good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing great. Super excited to actually just talk about some football, get lost in some football games with everything that's going on in college athletics. And, you know, the noise of this sport, it leads me to my first question. The noise around Bill Belichick, can they cut through it? And is that going to be a competitive football team this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Coaching in college is a whole lot different than coaching in the pros, and Belichick got a lesson in that last year. Created some of his own problems. His girlfriend kind of stealing spotlight, if you will. Although I don't know if that was intentional for her, but it's just been a lot of unnecessary drama around that program. So, you know, they're going to play TCU to start the year again, which I believe that was what they did last year. That game was in Carolina and was a disaster. So, you know, it's nowhere to go but up for North Carolina, really.
And you look at the opening slate. An interesting team, though. It should be an easy one as they're 30.5-point favorites. But Lincoln Riley and USC now being in the Big Ten, and we've seen how dominant the Big Ten has been over the last 3 years. What's the expectations for USC? What can that program be?
Well, they've got games with Oregon and Ohio State at home, and they have to go to Indiana. That's 3 top 5 teams. They'll probably be favored every other time they take the field, with maybe the exception of Penn State on the road. So the expectations should be, really anything less than 8 wins is going to be a disappointment for USC. But if you can get, especially Oregon or Ohio State at home, those would be huge wins in terms of really restoring what people, at least my age and some younger, think of USC football as being.
Hey, Jerry, I'm looking at the top 10 teams in college football. 3 Texas teams, no California teams. I know you guys talked about USC. I think UCLA will be a little bit of a sneaky surprise this year with their new coach. Why is that, you think? Why is I'm always banging, heads with my Texas brethren about California being the top, schools for high school players over Texas, but yet still we can't get in the top 10. Why do you think that is? And is there someone you think could sneak in there?
Well, I mean, USC is probably among the California schools the one most likely because of their talent and the opportunity that their schedule provides them. But the fact that California's got great high school football, by the way, Texas does too. High school players don't go necessarily to home state schools anymore. I mean, it's been that way for a while, especially in the NIL era. Players are going where the money is. So, the money's going to be, it kind of varies where it is. It's in the SEC, it's in the Big Ten. But, California is not well represented in those two leagues. I mean, UCLA and USC, of course, are in the Big Ten, but there's nobody anywhere near California in the SEC. But Texas is well represented in that conference. So, the money is where the players go. So the fact that California's got great high school players doesn't necessarily mean that the California schools are going to benefit.
Talking with Jerry Palm, palmbracket.com. The regular season is upon us this weekend, and we're going to see New Mexico State at Florida State on Saturday. But, big thing in there is Mike Norvell and how much longer can he last at Florida State. Is this a make or break year for him?
Yes, I think so. New Mexico State being competitive in that game is not going to be a good thing for Florida State and Mike Norvell. I mean, this is a team that I think, New Mexico State can do well in their league, but that's not the same as doing well at Florida State. So this is an opportunity for Florida State now to, step up and get this season off to a really good start, which they did not do last year. And I think it's going to be important for Mike Norvell to get things going. They get SMU at home. That's a conference game right off the bat, and then they've got to go to Alabama. So, and SMU's pretty good. So they need to use this New Mexico State game as a momentum builder. And New Mexico State is going to go in there fearless, because why wouldn't you? And see if they can give them a scare, if not actually pull an upset. But it's really important, though, for Florida State and Mike Norvell to get some good momentum out of this game before they go into a difficult early part of their schedule.
Jerry, I want to know who you think, this is two questions here. Who you think, I don't even want to know who number 2 and number 3 is. I want you to tell me who you believe is the best college football quarterback in the country. And also give me your top 3.
Quarterback.
Yeah. And then you can think about that one. You can go to defense first. Give me your top 3 defenses you believe in college football that are going to be the top 3 defenses this season in all of college football. I don't want to know 2 and 3 at quarterback. I want to know who you believe in your eyes that you've seen is the best quarterback in all of college football.
I like Ohio State saying. I think he had a good year last year and has some momentum to build off of. He's got so much talent around him, and especially at receiver, which, Ohio State has become wide receiver U. I think he's poised to have a real breakout season. And if it's not him, the one I'm most interested in is Arch Manning. Is he going to, take that big step forward and, play to the level that everybody thought he could play at last year, even though that was probably unrealistic. But I think Stayan is the one that's best poised to have the big year. Defenses, Ohio State, Texas, I'm going to say Florida. I think Florida's always good on that side of the ball. I don't know if their offense is going to be good enough, but Florida's usually pretty good.
Jerry Palm with us, a few more minutes here on the opening drive. I know, Jerry, we'll be able to dive into it more next week, but one of the things with all the changes in college football, it's weird to see. You look at week 1, it's Wyoming, Colorado State, right? It's the border war, the rivalry now that they're in different conferences. Sunday, September 6th, Washington State and Washington. And it's just the way of the world now, but kicking off the season with, a big rivalry game is definitely interesting.
Yeah. And it's really just kind of weird. Week 0 gives us Memphis and UNLV, which is not a rivalry game. We talked about TCU and North Carolina, but that's a game that could really be interesting in terms of, somebody making the playoffs from one of those two leagues. Those are two contenders, and they're not thought of as the favorite, but they're like right next to the favorite in both of those leagues. But then when we get to week one, you've got some pretty good games coming up, and you mentioned them, but it's Michigan State's in action. Miami is going to play Stanford on the road, which California road trips are weird, but I don't know if Stanford's good enough. But there's going to be some really tough games off the top. Tulane is playing at Duke week one. Duke is the reigning ACC champion, and they're the ranked team in that game. Oregon is getting Boise State. Boise State is the favorite for the group of six now teams in the college football playoff. But Oregon is number 2, and Boise State has been known for going on the road and giving teams like that trouble if not winning. So it'll be interesting to see where both of those teams stand in a big game right off the bat.
And one other thing, Jerry, why is BYU still so good? Is there? I understand the whole mission thing, but is there a reason you believe that BYU is still a really good college football team?
Yeah, they've got the money.
Okay.
They poured money into their program, and it's a university that has resources like that, and that's what drives things now. So BYU has done a good job, and we've seen it in basketball as well. Yeah. Funding their programs and using that to create really good teams. And BYU is going to be a strong contender in the Big 12 again this year.
Jerry, as always, appreciate the time. Can't wait to do this every Thursday moving forward throughout football and college basketball season, and have fun watching some games on Saturday.
All right, thanks. Yeah, that'll be good.
Jerry Palm, appreciate you from palmbrackets.com. And yes, BYU has the money, Ned.
Yes.
These are banks. They're banks, as you know, Notre Dame, BYU. They're banks. They're not universities. It is the opening drive right here on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Hey, it's me, George Lotto Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Networks Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us at chasingtheflames.com or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services.
Quarterback play, big question, still a question mark for Lobo football. Multiple quarterbacks. You're going to see multiple quarterbacks play against Central Michigan. And James Lopestein, Luke Moga. It's going to be that combo as they try to figure out what direction that offense is going to take this year at quarterback. You know what they're going to do. Lean on that offensive line and run the football. I know they can create plays. I think Luke Schleichner is a good play caller. You have him. You have Jason Eck, who's a former OC. Zach Lujan was OC with Northwestern the last couple of years. Carson Walt coming in, being in the NFL game, coaching wide receivers. Like, there's a lot of offensive IQ for Lobo football. And it's now who can step up and maybe be the guy and help take that offense to another level. Because you asked the question, Ned, when we had Jerry Palm on, who are the best quarterbacks in college football? And we know the names.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys do have excellent skill position players around them. So it goes hand in hand. And that's, I think, still a question for the Lobos. Is some of the skill position players, especially Troy O'Meara, is just, are you going to be healthy enough to take the football field against Central Michigan? But he's the quarterback, Ned James. It's JJ Buck with you this morning. Got Bob holding it down behind the glass, Adrian producing on ProView Networks. But you look at the big names in the country, and there's some consistent. And yes, Julian Sayin returned as Ohio State starting quarterback. Now he has the best wide receiver in the country in Jeremiah Smith to throw to, and that's, as Jerry Palm mentioned, Ohio State's become wide receiver. You saw Carnell Tate go in the first round, number 4 overall. You can run down the list of the skill position players they have. But I do like Sayin. I think he'll be in the conversation when we're talking about Heisman, as will Jeremiah Smith. So 2 guys from that Ohio State offense. Arch Manning, it's the hype because of his last name. I do think the second half of the season, he started playing better football. And you saw that. But what's around him? An outstanding defense, good skill position players. And Texas should be in the college football playoff this season. And then Trinidad Chambliss returning Ole Miss.
Yes.
That's big when you look at expectations. Now there's Dante Moore, Oregon, another returning quarterback. But then there's some of the turnover. Josh Hoover going from TCU to Indiana and taking over the defending champ there, the Hoosiers. Darian Mensah, Duke to Miami, stepping up there. And CJ Carr at Notre Dame. Right. So, yeah, we can run down the list. And whether it's, you mentioned BYU, Bear Bachmeier, accounted for 3,500 total yards of offense, 26 total touchdowns last year. Former UNLV quarterback, Jaden Mayaba, continuing at USC.
Yeah. Now, Jerry's great, but I'm going to ask you this question. Okay. Do you believe, especially when it comes to the quarterback position, do you believe that there is this, and he mentioned Julian Sayin at, that's his name, right? Julian Sayin at Ohio State. Do you believe, as good as Jerry is, do you believe, especially with this older guy, that there is a bias based on region, demographic? Like, he's a Midwestern guy. Sayin's in the Midwest. I'm always leaning towards guys from Texas and the West, guys on the East Coast and in the Deep South. Do you think there's a demographic bias when it comes to, I don't know, projecting or even analyzing quarterbacks in particular?
Not, I wouldn't say
because I asked
analyzing
them to pick
quarterbacks.
One, because when you ask somebody to pick one, they're generally going to pick the person that's closest to them that they believe.
Oh, but I think Sayin is, if you're going for
not that
best,
Julian isn't bad,
like true talent, I think he's in that conversation as opposed to just being in a good system. I think that there's a true conversation, but absolutely there's a bias in sport.
Yeah,
when you look at,
I've seen that.
You've been there in the locker rooms and on fields arguing with coaches. Yeah. But even in media, we've seen it. Where are these population bases? Where are a lot of major shows coming out of? Right? It's East Coast. It's New York. It's over there. It's like you're not watching stuff that's kicking off at 7, 8 p.m. Mountain Time constantly. Like, that's the real thing. Absolutely. And then also just where a lot of these schools are populated. Mm-hmm. Now, you brought it up, and you're like, well, what's going on? Why isn't Washington, USC, UCLA popping more? Right. And there's some big brands out here, especially when it comes to college basketball with Arizona, etc. But you're also fighting the fact that it's not just the conferences. It's the fact when you look at the Southeastern Conference, you look at the Big Ten, it's all East. There's absolutely some bias involved.
Yeah. And Jerry's great and everything. And it just threw me when he said the guy from Ohio State. And because I deliberately did that because I wanted to see. And but these quarterbacks coming in this season, there's a lot of hype and expectation, particularly with the Manning kid in Texas. But it's interesting because a lot of times these young quarterbacks, need time to develop. It's the same way in the NFL. I mean, guys just need time to develop. And the fact that I'm not a big fan of the quarterback at USC now that came from UNLV, Jordan Maeva, but a lot of people are. And I just don't see, where someone from California, where a team from California doesn't pop up, because I like Colin Lockett, who's at UCLA now. I think there's a chance that with this new regime that they may pop a little bit. We're going to see, because there's just too much talent in California for there not to be, good teams in the West Coast.
You're right, but that's why everyone's going in there and trying to grab those guys and use their resources to bring them all across the country.
Right.
Talking college football, taking your thoughts, 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline. Also, the Meineke on San Pedro text line for you this morning. And speaking of quarterback, how would the multi-quarterback system work? And we saw it last year with Lobo football, but what would be the thought process this year for UNM with gigantic expectations? They want to win a Mountain West championship. Hit that next here on the Sports Animal.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Network.
Opening drive. Drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Here's Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Jeff Symbieta back tomorrow after his road trip across the country. Back to school for the young one, going back to Michigan. Man, I love road trips. I've talked about it all the time. It's such a fun time. Enjoy that, especially with the fam. But Jeff, back tomorrow. Don't you worry. You can send your same texts and emails to Jeff. He'll read the same thing over and over. You missed him, I know, but we've been holding it down. It's been a fun week, and it's football. It's everything else that's going on. Enjoying it. Mexico United last night, 2 goals after being down 1-0, and they scored in the 73rd and 78th minute. They grabbed a 2-1 win. They stay tied atop the Western Conference standings. They'll host San Antonio on Saturday. Talked about the Global men's basketball schedule. Global women's basketball can second has a story out this morning. Talking with Amy Egan. Excited as that ramps back up and looking at what that team is going to be this year. And might be some bumps in the road in non-conference play with a new system, a lot of new pieces in place, and high expectations from that coaching staff. I think when you get to Mountain West play for the women, they're going to be competitive. But, of course, then as we're talking about the men, sky-high expectations, as there is with Lobo football this season. He's the quarterback, Ned James. JJ Buck with you here on The Sports Animal. Bob holding it down this morning, producing Behind the Glass, Adrian on ProView Networks. And I have ridden the emotional roller coaster with the quarterback this camp, Ned. And we know we go out there and you're looking at the guys. And there's a lot that goes into this. Athleticism, throwing motion, how they fit in the offense. Yeah, early on, I was not excited. I thought there was going to be big questions that they might not be able to answer at the quarterback position. But as it goes on, just reps, that practice experience, opportunity. And it's not necessarily that the players took a big step forward. Like, they're fine right now at the quarterback position, but there's more than just watching and realizing what Jason Eck has done offense. And thinking back to last year and the way Luke Fleischner would create plays to get the running backs involved, lean on his tight ends. I think the tight end room is good again this year. Create opportunities for your number one target in Keegan Johnson. Is thinking back to that. It's realizing, Coach Eck, he's an offensive lineman, but he was also an OC coming up. And he has that aspect to it. He understands the game that way. Looking at someone like Zach Lujan, who was the offense coordinator at Northwestern the last few years, they bring him in. Carson Walt, who's a wide receivers coach in the NFL, comes in as a passing game coordinator. It's trusting to the coaching IQ and the coaching acumen that with Lopestein, with the Luka Moga, who just needs to develop. He just needs the opportunity. I get he was at Oregon, but he didn't play. And so it's not, because you were there, you step in and you're immediately going to be the best quarterback on campus. It's trusting the process. And that's kind of where I came back to, where my confidence in the offense returned, is trusting the coaches to put either of those guys in a position to succeed.
Yeah, and we started out apprehensive last year as well. I mean, we were apprehensive about the quarterback, even though it was Jack Lane, until we saw how tough he was and how he was able to kind of manage this offense. This year, it started out the same way because, he wasn't practicing in the spring and he hasn't practiced this fall. So we're all still looking at that. Now, there's 4 new coaches as well. I mean, we lost special teams coach DePrado, which was big. And he really did a great job with that unit. Running backs coach Johnson was exceptional as well. Tight ends coach was great. And then the receivers coach, Colin Lockett, who we all like, Carson Walsh. Now, we've replaced them with high-level coaches at all those positions. And so you just don't know quite how that's all going to mesh. And so that's why, I think us speaking in the fact that we've been out there to practice and we've, talked to coaches and we've talked to players, that there's some, apprehension, just like it was the year before, because they were a new staff coming in and we didn't get to quite know them as well until we got into the season. And then we, turned out to like what we saw as the season progressed. I think it's going to be a little bit, of the same. Coming out the gate last year, it was a little rough, but then it picked up. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we just got to give it time. And, I think, this staff, and, the thing that's really good is that if you've ever been around the guy and you've ever talked to him, the head coach doesn't waver. Like, his confidence is through the roof at all times, and his excitement and enjoyment and his actual positivity towards everything related to football is infectious. And I think that's where the kids feed off of, and that's why they're able to play at such a high level and to maintain that excellence that I think he expects. And he actually believes that they should always have.
And they speak it like he's playing Mountain West Championship. Like, that's where he wants his team to be. And he knew taking the job that the conference was going to look different, and maybe that would open the door a little bit. Now, I think that the top of the Mountain West and the top of the new look Pac-12 are very similar. Now, it's the depth question. It comes in. It's the same question you're having now at basketball, where you can kind of pinpoint the top teams, but it's the depth that you lose. And for New Mexico, you're looking at this schedule, and if you're efficient early, it's 3-1 going into the UTEP game. Like, right. That's what you're looking at. Central Michigan Mercyhurst at New Mexico State wins. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma, sure, you want to win that game. We'll break it all down, but
right.
Not hanging that one up yet. But if you're 3-1 going into conference play, then I think that would tell us that they figured out an efficient offense. The defense is playing to the level that you expect.
Let me ask you this question. Which game do you think, in your mind right now, just off paper, because we don't have anything to look at, is tougher, Central Michigan or New Mexico State?
At New Mexico State.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's going to be a tough one down there. When you play your little brothers, it's always hard, especially at their place. And I don't know if our guys know that yet. I think, X has supreme confidence in his team, but it's a different animal when you play them down there. And so it'll be interesting to see that game.
And it's always, the build-up, and you have to do it a little bit more these days with the turnover, especially last year. There's a new coaching staff, a ton of new players. Like, all right, what's the rivalry? Okay, New Mexico State is in state, but what does that mean? Right? It's that build-up. Now, there's a lot of returners for the Lobos, so I think that helps them in that regard of, just wrapping their mind around rivalry week, but getting ready to play that game in Las Cruces, and that will be September 26th contest. And it's like a 1:30 kickoff, so midday, ready to go against your rivals down south. And you brought it up talking about the coaching staff, and week one is just it's a total unknown. Like, I'm looking at these lines, and we were discussing them, but I have no idea. Like, I would not, if I was to do it, I would not be like going down any of the sports books and placing bets on any of these lines.
You shouldn't
like
do that anyway.
Well, I'm not, I haven't signed any contract yet officially. Because you're right. I just let our eyes tell us a story for a week or two before we fully know. But the one thing, and you brought it up, is special team. They were good last year for the Lobos, and it was the running back that made a difference. Damon Banks and DJ McKinney in the run game, but they also popped in special team. And I think as it's a little preview for our pregame show.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to be one of the biggest questions is, what do the Lobos look like on special teams?
Mm-hmm. And who's going to pop on special teams? Because you see one thing in practice, and then you try to get, an idea of how that's going to look going into the game, but you just don't know. And you got a new special teams coordinator. His style is different than Prado's. Just watching how the practice is organized around him. So it's going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
505-246-0610. Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text line. Jeffrey on the opening drive. What's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me. You gentlemen were talking about the New Mexico State legislature and their reticence to assign funding to ameliorate or build and improve entertainment or sports facilities. I've been facing this frustration all my life. I've been here all 60-some years. But I wanted to point out that in this regard, most New Mexicans are not aware that the New Mexico legislators are not paid a salary. They receive only a per diem. And New Mexico, I believe, is the only state where legislators are not paid a salary. Why is this significant? Because in New Mexico, the legislative body tends to attract only a certain population that has a certain inherent wealth. People can afford to take 3 months, sometimes more, from their work. Consequently, you're precluding the blue-collar, more pedestrian population that tends to be more predisposed to concerts, sport, the fandom population. That population, if you're a plumber or, you have a side job or whatever it might be, you can't afford to take 3 months or take off another 3 weeks for a special session. So the population that serves as legislators tends to be I'm not going to say an elite population, but it isn't, in my view, representative of all segments of an overall population, particularly the more blue-collar pedestrian population. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I'm just talking about the people that love, their sports team. And so you don't have this intrinsic sensitivity, if you will, to assign funding to, build a sports stadium or ameliorate the pit or whatever it might be, because they tend to be a little bit more removed from the average, blue-collar beer-drinking fan. And people don't talk about that. I do believe there is legislation this November to begin to pay legislators. And if that does happen, then you might get more true representation at that legislative body that does assign funding to these kinds of things that, as sports fans, we're interested in.
All right, Jeffrey, I appreciate the phone call. And that's a very interesting point in the dynamics and everything that goes into state legislature. And sure, I know there's plenty of people that anytime, politics get fed up with kind of the been there, done that, and just the politician lifers and this is a KKOB conversation for sure, which I'm still hit it this afternoon with BB. But, it's an interesting point because it is, what do they care about? What matters to them? Is it a true representation of who they're representing? Which I think you could ask that question across the board in politics. And yeah, when you've been in this state, and again, I'm from New Mexico. I've grown up here. I'm getting old now, by the way. I just had a birthday the other day, and I'm getting to that old man status. I'm not just that young kid in the shadow anymore. Like, I've been here, done that, raising a family, so I understand the dynamics of all this. And I think that's also why you've seen the aggressiveness from the Lobos trying to attack this moment of, you won 9 games, you had sellouts, you tried to get, however you feel about whatever side of the aisle you're on. There's a reason that when the Lobos tried to get the governor out to a game, there's a reason they filmed a video with Michelle Lujan Grisham a couple weeks ago. You're just chomping at that apple, even though there's going to be a new governor in there, and there's a GOP candidate for governor sitting right there right now talking with Bob Clark. But it's the aggressive, doing everything you can nature, and it's why the Lobos are being aggressive, and that's all you can do.
But it also explains why Jeffrey, I'm glad he made that phone call, because it explained to me, and I think he was probably talking to me, explains to me why there's not very many young people going into the legislative branch, because there's no pay in. And sometimes, you need that infusion of youth and new ideas to push things forward. And, like I said, like he said, in November, there's something on the ballot where they're going to start paying them, and maybe that will, kind of thrust these younger minds into this political arena that we need that youthful exuberance in the legislation and the legislators, like we have in Jason Eck as the football coach. He has, you could say he's a little bit, I wouldn't call him old because I don't think he's that old. I think he's a young guy, to be honest with you. But he has that youthful exuberance and that youthful ideology, the idealism that you need to see things to fruition, to see things grow. And I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but I just hope it does. And I thank Jeffrey for that call, because it kind of gives me kind of an idea of now why it's the secession plan that we need to have to bring these young people into the fold get some of these, and I'm not trying to be ageist, but, get some of these older legislators out and bring some more enthusiasm to the state legislation will be, I think, a step forward for this state if we can somehow find a way to that.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text sign. And this is the opening drive right here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Labor Day just got a major upgrade.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are one Eastern.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past. Built for generations to come. This is New Mexico.
Meineke on San Pedro, doing car care right.
Cut day around the corner as NFL rosters will get down to 53. Not a lot of questions left. There's position battles, offensive line questions that are going on, but in terms of starting quarterbacks, I think the only one that's left, it comes down to health, and that's in Atlanta. Yeah. And Michael Penix Jr. versus Tua Tagovailoa. It's the opening drive here on The Sports Animal. That's our quarterback, Ned James. JJ Buck with you, Bob holding it down behind the glass, Adrian producing on ProView Network. And it was really just the fact that Michael Penix Jr. was just cleared this week for 11-on-11 full contact football, coming off his third ACL injury. And you get a good coach down there, Kevin Stefanski, who's been NFL Coach of the Year. Cleveland moves on from him, brings in Todd Monken. And now for Stefanski, is there going to be enough time to ramp up Michael Penix Jr.? Because it hasn't been a good preseason for Tua in his opportunities. But it does look like Penix won't play Friday, it was interesting to see him not get on the field. But is 2 weeks enough? If Penix the guy, do you think Tua starts the year there?
Yeah, you never know. This plan seems, like you said, a little strange when the fact that Penix hasn't played in any preseason games. Is that kind of Stefanski's MO? Has he done this before? I don't think he's ever done this before. So it would lend me to believe that there's some uncertainty there as far as the quarterback position goes. And I threw this out to you. Since he did draft Dylan Gabriel before he was forced to take Shedeur Sanders. Would he bring Dylan Gabriel over from Cleveland to add the lefties and have three lefties in there? Now, I know you said the other third string guys played okay. The D2 guy from Mankato, I think he's from, you said. But I don't know if that's going to be somebody that he's going to entrust with his offense when, in fact, he drafted Dylan Gabriel and he developed him.
It took him in the third round.
Yeah, and that's pretty high. I mean, but the fact that he knows his system and he put him in some games last year, does he trust the fact that he could, manage a game and get him through a couple games before he's forced to put back Tua or Penix in? But it'll be interesting to see how they go about this. When it's cut down day after that last preseason game, there's always moves that are going to be made. You just never know where these teams are coming from. You never know where these owners are looking at, and they've made behind the scenes deals already to kind of put their rosters in place. So we'll see exactly where Atlanta's looking once this final preseason game is played.
So Atlanta is focusing on just the acclimation period of transitioning Penix from just the 7-on-7 work to the full 11-on-11 team stuff in practice. So Tua is going to start on Friday. So he'll get his opportunity for a little bit. Probably won't see a lot of the first team guys out there in the final preseason game. But with the rocky play we've seen from Tua, he might just need a couple series if you're the coach, just get that confidence. Because where is his confidence? His career was a question mark after the injuries.
Yeah,
in Miami.
Yeah, but they brought him over as a free agent. They know what they're getting. They know exactly what he was before, and then they know what he's been like in their program. And now with the pads on and things flying by, coaches kind of have an idea of where they think a guy slot for them. Coaches want to be comfortable, and it could be personality. You just never know what it is, and they like guys that they like. And so maybe there's some idea that, hey, there's a guy out there that I like, and I want to bring him over here, and I think he can help us, and that's where these rosters start changing as we look towards the first regular season game here in another 2 or 3 weeks.
And with quarterback coming off ACL injuries, Patrick Mahomes expects to play when the Chiefs take the field for Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. So it's Denver at Kansas City, September 14th, kick off the regular season. So Mahomes, he tore his ACL last year, and it's amazing in sport, the progress we've seen.
Yeah.
ACL used to just be, all right, 12 months, we'll see you next year, we'll see what happens. Now it's not even a thought. It's like, oh, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Tear your ACL, you'll be good.
Yeah.
I think Adrian Peterson, remember after when he came back and kind of wowed people like, oh my gosh, look how fast he came back. And now everyone is pushing the threshold of coming back from an ACL injury. So this will be 9 months.
Yeah.
And when you look at that week 1 game, it'll be 9 months since Mahomes tore his ACL. And he said that's what he was targeting. He said, quote, "It's the amount of time the doctors said from the beginning that if I did everything the right way, I would be ready to play week 1. And it's just crazy that, the injuries are like that. But for, Patrick Mahomes and this offense, it's one where there's coming off a knee injury. There's still a lot of pressure on Mahomes. They haven't been as explosive. They've haven't been able to really figure out that wide receiver room. When Rashee Rice has been on the field, he's been super productive. But then you're also looking at the back end of Travis Kelce. What's he like? How do you maximize him? They invested a first-round pick in Xavier Worthy, but is he big enough? Did they just look at a speed guy and think he could be the next Tyreek Hill? There's a lot of questions there, but I think the biggest thing for the Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City is Andy Reid and that front office investing more in the run game and bringing over Kenneth Walker from Seattle, the Super Bowl MVP, to try to lean back into that. But Kenneth Walker's just got to find the right shoes, man.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with shoe-related ankle swelling.
Yeah. Well, you forgot about another running back that they have in the backfield, and it's Field, the quarterback. They could sprinkle him. I think Andy's creative enough to sprinkle Fields in there a little bit with some of this RPO stuff that a lot of teams are doing now, and it speeds the game up. And you put guys in a bind, and everybody's kind of enamored with Patrick Mahomes and what he's been, but the guy, he tore an ACL and a PCL, so it's a little bit trickier now. It wasn't his plant leg, so it might be okay, but at the same time, he's not going to be the same guy that people think he's going to be as far as the runaround type of guy. And he may think he's that guy, but he really isn't going to be that same guy again. And so you have to look at a lot of things when it comes to that position. In the NFL, you don't necessarily have to be a mobile guy. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to learn how to play from the pocket. You can be a stiff and still succeed in the NFL. So there's a lot of things going for Kansas City. I just don't think he's going to quite be what he thinks he's probably going to be as far as athletic and as far as him moving around in that pocket like he's done in the past. So we'll have to wait and see. Denver, still Bo Nix was really good last year. Can he come around? That's going to be good. And defense. We'll see what happens in Denver with defense.
Speaking of the Denver Broncos, we got to talk about the first 6 weeks of the season for Denver and the 3 teams that won 14 games last year. Expect them to be good, but it's the NFL. And you're on tape. There's regression. Who could be that team that hits that number this season? We'll hit that next right here on the Sports Animal.
The Drake Toll Show. That was the worst defense last year.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Networks Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us. It's chasingtheflames.com, or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans. Let us serve you with an exemplary level of care. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
That because, they didn't get to that many wins with Davis Webb calling plays. And so it worries me a little bit from that standpoint, but we'll see. The Chargers, are they going to charge her again and drop off at the end? I don't know. It's going to be one of those things that, Harbaugh, I like as a coach.
Do you like McDaniel coming in there, taking over the offense?
Jay, I don't care about offense that much. So it's just the defense. Can they play defense? Yeah. So
the best defense
Chargers
in that division is going to be the Broncos.
Yes,
and then
it should be the Broncos.
It should be for me. The offense still takes the field. That it's still 1/3 of the game. I know. Quarterbacks in the offense.
We got to talk about it. Everybody's got their quarterback posters up. So okay.
I'm intrigued about Davis Webb taking over. And it's still going to be Sean Payton's offense. Sean Payton's going to be right there. Is he going to get antsy and want to call plays? Because I think Denver realized, as good as they were last year, that you go into the AFC title game without Bo Nix, like that's, that it is what it is at that point in time. But I think they realized that even coming off a 14-win season, if they want to meet expectations, I don't expect them to be a 14-win team, but run it back and win the division, that offense had to take a step forward. The offense has to rise, and it's why they brought in Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Invested in another weapon for Bo Nix.
Yeah, and they've got the horses now. I mean, let's see if you can produce new coordinator, new horse at receiver. Let's see, set hike, let's go. But I still think, Webb, he's going to have his, learning curve before he can be, considered, knowing what he's doing. And sure, he's got Sean there to help him, but it just changes the dynamic of a lot of things. And so new player too, we'll see what happens.
So 3 teams won 14 games. Who could be that team that pops this year and gets to that number? Because when you look at the divisions, and it's super impressive that the NFC West, you look at the fact you had Seattle, LA, and San Francisco, they'll go 4-2 in division. Mm-hmm. And you expect, they're just going to beat each other up. But then you ended up getting one 14-win team and 2 12-win teams out of that. It shows you the level they were at. And I'm just trying to say, who could really pop?
If there's any 2 teams that could flip, in my opinion, it has to come from the AFC South. It's got to be either Houston or Indianapolis. Now, you talk about Patrick Mahomes and his knee injury, but Daniel Jones, they were 8-2 before he got hurt.
Achilles.
Yeah. Yes, he had the Achilles, but they were 8-2. They were really rolling. They couldn't be stopped up until that point. And now Houston, with that defense, if CJ could just get a little
not
bit
be
better,
playoff Stroud at the end there,
right? That's a team that potentially could make a run.
I know. I really like the Jaguars. I think the AFC South all of a sudden is super fun.
Yeah,
with what you're saying, Cam Ward, Tennessee, it's like, all right, Robert Saleh, Brian Dable, see if you can develop something out of that young man. But I have a little bit more hesitation with a quarterback or a player coming off an Achilles injury.
Then you do an ACL, PCL.
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, then then Indianapolis shouldn't be. The thing that I keep coming back to, and nobody wants to hear me, that's why I say don't bet on sports, is the reason why Cincinnati hasn't progressed is because the guy that's in Indianapolis now, his name is Lou Anarumo, the defense coordinator. And so defense plays a big part of it. And that conference with Houston, their offense just didn't show up in Houston, but defensively in Indianapolis, they're going to be tough. To see what Jacksonville did against those guys last season, I want to see if they can repeat it against Lou Anarumo this year. But the fact that Daniel Jones, the Achilles, like you said, it's a little tougher to come back from than the actual knee. I want to give it at least a month with that.
See if they can, because still got Jonathan Taylor there.
Yes.
Tyler Warren, young tight ends, good.
Yeah.
Trying to get through the soft tissue injury in camp. Hopefully he's on the field. They gave Alex Pierce a big old contract, but he had ankle surgery. They just activated him. So, again, he's going to be a slow ramp up. Keenan Allen, man, they brought him in.
They brought the dinosaur back.
So he's going to be catching passes early in the season. It might be a little security blanket as well for Daniel Jones. Because you're right, the Texans have a championship level.
Yes.
That's, I think right now, you asked about it earlier in college football, the top 3 defenses. I think right now it's Houston, Denver, and Los Angeles, the Rams.
Really? Man, I'm trying to get there with the Rams. But I was in camp with them. Man, and I know Myles Garrett is a game changer. Trying to get there with the Rams. I'm not a big Chris Shula fan, the defense.
You can't discount the Seahawks either. You look at
and the Seahawks, and you got to put them in the top.
I think the Seahawks.
And I like Fangio in Philadelphia too. So let me stop there.
No, you're good. In terms of the units, because Seattle, that defense was so good. And they bring back a lot of players. They just re-signed Williams this morning, gave him an extension, the defensive tackle, after Witherspoon last week, locking him in. So that they're investing because they can do that right now with Sam Darnold not on one of those crazy quarterback contracts.
Yes. And Sam Darnold, I mean, just the consistency, the level of consistency you have at that position. Jalen Hurts is the same way. I mean, you got guys who are just steady. And you want that rock steady with a good defense, and you should be able to win. And the fact that those other guys that we named, the quarterbacks got bounced out last year. it showed when they had to put in another quarterback, they weren't as stable, and that's why their teams weren't able to go. And that's Indianapolis, that's Houston, and who was the third team? Indianapolis, Houston, Philadelphia. So I mean, we'll see what happens this season. I mean, even though Hurts stayed the whole season, we're going to see what happens.
New offensive coordinator in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Sean Mannion, another one for Jalen Hurts. And this is actually more of a tweak to the system. A lot of the other guys, I think, they were similar in what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mannion's coming in and kind of just dropping a new playbook on him.
He's a McVay guy, so I mean, he's a drop back. I don't know if that's Jalen's game. He's gonna have to, but he's got a head coach that kind of is gonna probably tweak him a little bit, and so we'll see.
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline, the Meineke on San Pedro text line for you. The quarterback Ned James, JJ Buck with you here on the Sports Animal.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Across the state of New Mexico, different journeys will begin. And when their journeys unite, together will become one experience. Our campuses across New Mexico in Portales, Roswell, and Ruidoso come together to provide you the support as one family. We are one family that share one goal, one opportunity at a time. We are One Eastern.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International Protective Service.
Hi, this is Blake Swihart, Fielder's Choice Sports and Construction here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. At Fielder's Choice, we've been building championship quality athletic facilities for over 25 years, with more than 1,000 fields completed. From design and site work to turf, tracks and courts, we handle it all. But what really sets us apart is our people. We build it right, stand behind our work, and take care of our customers. Please give us a call today.
Tonight, Lewis back to pass. Here comes Barron, so he's got to get rid of it. Some separation down the sideline, and he drops it right in the basket for Jevin Smith, who was tackled out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Melendez, this time play action pass, batted up in the air. Was the interception made?
Picked off.
It did. So the pick is made.
They call nothing. Vanessa. Chi-Chi dribbling her way through, centers it, and what a beautiful play. Vanessa Chichi gets that one over to Kayla Herrera and just completely baited the defense.
Running back early on. Kanan Montando's number 2. Airs it out. Catch! Uh-oh! Bye-bye! Birdie! Touchdown! LaQueva, Devin Williams snared that one in the air, shed the defender, and runs home. Touchdown!
Step into the pocket there. Will fake the pitch, keep this one himself, springs free. 20, 10, house, touchdown for Micah Takahashi. They needed that spark, John.
Herrera's left. Herrera looks to throw on 2nd and 7, steps up in the pocket. He's going to chuck it downfield. He's got a man, and it's caught. Isaiah McCrary is going to break a tackle, and he's headed to the promised land. No flags. Touchdown, Volcano Vista. For Isaiah Carpenter. Carpenter, empty gun, pump fake, wants Morales. Morales with the catch. Is he in? He is! Touchdown, Sartans!
Second and 9, so a yard on that previous play.
4.5 quarterbacks total that play for New Mexico and Central Michigan in the opener. 4.5. You're like, what? Because we are seeing dual battling multi-quarterback systems September 5th at University Stadium. He's the quarterback, Ned James. JJ Buck with you, Bob holding it down. Adrian on ProView Network. What it do, happy. It's Thursday, right? I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday in the week, almost to the weekend, and some college football on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can't wait. But Central Michigan has named Angel Flores the starting quarterback, and he'll start their regular season opener right here in Albuquerque. Now, they're also plan to play Jaden Glasser, a junior who started 3 games last year, but then missed the final 11 games of the year due to injury. So Flores is a Northern Arizona transfer, played 9 games last year, totaled 890 yards rushing with 16 touchdowns on the ground. And then he had over 1,000 yards passing, 10 touchdowns in 21 per game. So
this is gonna be
dual quarterback, dual threat, both ways.
Yeah, this is going to be a slow game. They're going to be running the ball a lot this game.
Well, the clock's going to be moving then.
Yeah, the clock will be moving, but they're going to be running the ball. Both teams are very similar in what they play. I've seen, Central Michigan on film a little bit and got a chance to watch a couple games, Toledo, Northwestern, some of those type of games that they've played against, different types of teams. And they're pretty consistent. They're a lot like us with their formations and their personnel groupings. They try to get you with a big play here with a little formation, kind of movement stuff. And then defensively, a lot similar as well. They're going to try to mix it up on third down a little bit differently than we do. We're a little bit more, kind of locked into what we do defensively on first, second, and third down. They try to, they have that, what do they call that? Like a scramble type defensive look where they got guys standing up and walking around all over the place. Down. But otherwise, we're a lot similar, defensively and offensively. They do a lot of multiple things on defense as well. So and they're practicing against it. We kind of know each other, and these are teams that are, the coordinators have been there for a while. Our coordinators are coming into their second year. Their coordinator's been there a couple years, so it's going to be one of those games where these guys they know what they're doing offensively and defensively. They know their personnel pretty well, and they know exactly where their strengths are. And we're getting ready to see, how they intend to approach this game. The back end of our defense is a little bit stronger than it was last season, and I think they're a little bit stronger up front. So we're going to get into that details when we do our pregame stuff. But for the most part, I just think that they're a lot like we are offensively, defense. The difference is going to be the special teams, the kicking game and the return game. And we're going to find that out here once we start playing.
And you bring up a good point, especially getting ready for a regular season opener when there's some roster turnover, but the coordinators are the same for both teams. So Central Michigan able to really look at last year and just see Luke Schleichner, Spencer Nowinski just styles defensively and get a good gauge of it, as will New Mexico then, because there was not a turnover, coaching turnover when it comes to the coordinator positions for the Chippewas. Now they got a lot of pieces that they're replacing on defense, a few more returners on the offensive side of the football. But that's a challenge. And schematically, you could have an idea. And I think that's the biggest thing is if it's a returning head coach or returning coordinators, week one, you can prepare a little bit better. But then it's just you have to be able to adapt to in the game. First half, seeing how things are going, being like, oh, this guy pops a little bit more than we thought, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the X's and O's, but it's more the Jimmies and the Joes. It's more the players who's going to flash as a player and who's going to make the big mistake or who's going to make the big play is what happens typically in these openers. But you're going to tell up front, you're going to be able to see who's going to be able to handle what's coming at them from a physical standpoint up front, and the coaches will lay it out for you at the end of the game. I mean, they kind of sort of know now based on just their research on the personnel from both sides, who should win that battle up front. But we've got to wait and see. And everybody knows their styles. Jason Eck is now someone that people are researching. So they're going back to what you did, Jason, when you were just an offensive line coach. People are trying to say, hey, this guy's been successful. What has he done to get to where he's at? And so now the research is being done. There's resources to do those researches. So, it'll be interesting to see how we tackle this first game, which will not be a layup. This is going to be a football game.
Yeah, Central Michigan went to a bowl game last year. No, they lost 34-7 to Northwestern, but this is a team that there's consistency in the coaching staff. There's been a bit of a foundation there, and it's going to be a good challenge for the Lobos to open the season against Central Michigan. And you brought it up, Ned, in the break, as we've just been bounced back and forth, having a lot of fun talking football. We cannot leave without talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
No,
you said we cannot do it.
It's against the law.
It might have surprised you. I know you were talking about Philadelphia. We were just discussing new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts, his style of play, also the passing game. A.J. Brown, he's gone now. A.J. Brown was never happy. Even as a Super Bowl champion, he wasn't happy. I think Devontae Smith, healthy, will be a good number one wide receiver. Mekhi Lemon, got to get him healthy. Rookie, first-round pick, missed a lot of training camp, so we shall see. Eagles are good. Their front seven's and shit. But I've said it, man. Dallas is winning the division. That's my bold call going into the season. The offense is stacked, and I think they did enough defensively will make an impact where they can win that division, because I think they got the best defender in the draft in Caleb Downs.
Yeah, and Caleb Downs is the key there. He's still a rookie, so we're going to have to wait and see. Rookies do rookie things, so Caleb Downs will rookie it a little bit this year. But, Dallas is the preeminent favorite, and people are talking Super Bowl. I'm hearing Dallas Cowboys fans, are excited. They can't wait to start filling up these sports bars and bullying all the other teams that come in to play the Cowboys, or fans that come in to watch the Cowboys. So I'm excited. It's always great when the Dallas Cowboys are looking good, and especially if they're winning in this city, just like the Lobos winning. This is a Dallas Cowboys city, football city, even though people don't want to admit it. It really is, and I like the fact that these Dallas Cowboys fans get fired up when football season starts, and especially if they think they're going to be pretty good.
If you can get that defense from dead last in points per game, top 12, 15 unit with that offense, that can get you the division.
Yeah,
I think you can. Even with the Eagles are stout, and you should trust them. But at some point, there's got to be that flip. There's got to be that jump.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are still a playoff team. They'll be battling for a wild card, but I think that the Cowboys can be the 11-win team that takes the division, because
I'm only a little nervous.
The one team that I just don't like the direction it's going right now is Washington.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about the young defensive coordinator with, even though he came over from Philadelphia, from Dallas. I'm a little worried about him. But other than that, I mean, they should have, pieces in place to, make a significant jump defensively. But we'll have to wait and see.
Now, can the Giants be pesky in that division? The development of Jackson Dart. Defensively, they got a lot of pieces. They've invested over the last few drafts a lot in that front seven.
Yeah.
Another, Arvell Reese, high draft pick, their first round pick, edge rusher coming in out of Ohio State. Harbaugh taking over. I think the Giants will be the third best team. It's Washington. It's the reports out in training camp in that offense have not been good.
Yeah.
And then you lose Laremy Tunsil, your left tackle.
Yeah.
The
Jaden Daniels looks like he lost weight. He's got to get bigger.
So, yeah, it's like, all right, you have Terry McLaurin. I thought the Stephon Diggs addition was good. But then, Ja'Cory Cross-Emerick, he's going to get a lot of touches early in the season. But is that offensive line going to hold up? Yeah. Rashid White, they brought him over for some depth. He was dealing with a soft tissue injury. That's the one team I don't know if they're going to be able to bounce back. But we shall see. Ned, always fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate you hanging out. And you ready for some real football this weekend?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's get it.
Over ready.
That is our quarterback, Ned James. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you waking up and beat me to the station this morning.
Yeah.
You are always on point. Thank you so much, Adrian. All the work you do. Appreciate you at Pro View Network. We got Colin Cowherd coming up next. Jim Rome follows that. Westwood One Sports Radio will take you up until Coke Baseball takes over at 5:45. Everybody, medical peace and love. We'll talk tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, this is Blake Swihart, Fielder's Choice Sports and Construction here in Alcrete, New Mexico. At Fielder's Choice, we've been building championship quality athletic facilities for over 25 years, with more than 1,000 fields completed. From design, site work to turf, tracks and courts, we handle it all. But what really sets us apart is our people. We build it right, stand behind our work, and take care of our customers. Please give us a call today.
Johnny's Pizza is the official pizza of ProView Networks. Johnny's makes authentic New York style pizza, handcrafted with fresh ingredients and their unique black granite stone oven. With a lifetime of experience. Don't forget to get some delicious Italian desserts. Johnny's Pizza, authentic New York pizza on Albuquerque's west side.
Because insurance isn't just about having a policy, it's about having the right coverage when you need it. Whether it's your home, your car, your business, or your family's future, my team and I are here to help you make sure you're protected. Give us a call, 505-836-2877, or stop by the Allstate Louis Sanchez Agency, where you're in good hands.
Need custom shirts, polos, or promotional gear? Fast, affordable, and with zero hassles? At Turbo Threads, we offer digital printing and embroidery with low minimums and no setup charges. Whether you're outfitting a team, promoting your business, or just want a standout custom shirt, we've got you covered. Quick turnaround, quality you can trust. Located right here in Rio Rancho, Turbo Threads, your one-stop shop for custom apparel and promo products. Visit turbothreads.com or call 505-999-1234 today, because great-looking gear shouldn't wait.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Indigo Mortgage offers better rates and terms than that of big banks and out-of-state lenders. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loans.
Hey, it's me, George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef, and you're watching me right now on ProView Network's Comcast Channel 26. I'm coming back for Season 3, a lot of new stuff, fun recipes from the Southwest, a little history, Southwestern cooking techniques. We're going to cook underground. I might even tell you a secret about Chimayo red chili. Come on back and watch us. It's chasingtheflames.com, or here on Channel 26, ProView Networks. Bye-bye. See you later.